Can you hear me? All right. All right. The ball is spotted at about the 36-yard line on the play, and the Ogden Jets is now on a good drive here in the first possession of the ball. Okay, here we go now. From the 36-yard line, with Dylan Horsley, number 18 at quarterback, out of the shotgun formation, we have one running back on the side and one in the backfield. And they're going to run it, and running the ball is number 33, Preston Arambell, the ball carrier, who runs up the middle on the play and gets stopped on the defense by the Gladiators. And that would bring up 4th down and 1 after a 4-yard gain on the play, and the Jets is probably going to go for it. It is now 4th and 1 from the 32-yard line with 6 minutes left here in the first quarter. Okay, out of the shotgun formation. Here's a snap, low snap, and he's ready to pass. Here's the throw, and it is incomplete. It is intended for number 23, Cameron Stimson, the ball carrier, and the ball will be turned over on downs. So, on the 32-yard line, on their second possession here in the first half, it is Gladiators football. Okay, once again, number 3, Jaden Saley, who is now the quarterback here in the second possession here in the first quarter of this football game. And here we go from the 32-yard line. Okay, out of the shotgun formation, we have one running back in the backfield, 2 receivers on the left, 1 receiver on the right. There's some movement, but no encroachment penalty on the play. And we have a run play. That was number 20, Christian Flores, the ball carrier, who gets brought down for a loss. And on the defense, that was number 41 of the Ogden Jets, but I don't have his name on the roster here. And he's the one that does the defense. It is a loss of 4 on the play. Or actually, make it, it looks like a loss of 6 on the play. And that would bring up 2nd down from the 27-yard line. And once again on the offense, out of the shotgun formation with 2 receivers on each side. Here we go, out to snap. There's a pass, and it's incomplete on the play. It is intended for number 20, Christian Flores, the running back. And that would bring up 3rd down for the Gladiators. And it appears to be that the Ogden Jets is doing impressive on defense. Okay, once again, Saley getting the instructions from the offensive coordinator. And here we go from the 28-yard line on 3rd and 15. Okay, once again, a shotgun formation, 3 receivers to the right. He's out to pass, and he gets knocked down for a sack on the defense. That was number 20 for the Ogden Jets, who made the defense, and he gets brought down from their own red zone. And that would bring up 4th down from the 20-yard line. It is 4th down and 22 with under 5 minutes left here in the first quarter. And it appears to be that the Gladiators is going to punt. Uh-oh, snap is low. And he's picking up the ball, misses the kick. Fumble on the play, and it is recovered by the Ogden Jets from inside the 10-yard line. On the recovery, that is Jet Wiles, number 4 for the Jets, the linebacker from Bountiful, Utah, who made the recovery. And within good field position, the Ogden Jets are now placing the ball from the Gladiators' 10-yard line. So 1st and 10 from the 10 with 4 minutes and 28 seconds here in the first quarter here at Fran Rich Stadium. Okay, once again, Dylan Horsley, number 18 at quarterback, from the shotgun formation, with one running back here in the backfield. There's a fumble on the play, and from the 11-yard line, it is recovered by the Gladiators. That was number 45, Arnie Aravello, with the recovery. And from the 11-yard line, it is 1st and 10 Gladiators with 4:24 here in the first quarter. And right now, I'm feeling some raindrops coming down here. And like I said earlier today, the rain made the difference in clearing away the poor air quality. Let's hope it'll stay that way. Here we go on the third possession here in the first quarter by the Gladiators on offense. And out of the shotgun formation with two receivers on each side. Out to pass. It is caught on the play. And that is number 27, Malik Gilbert with a reception, and gets brought down to the 15-yard line for a gain of 4 on the play. And that would bring up 2nd down and 6 yards to go. Okay. And here we go from the 15-yard line, 2nd down and 6 yards to go. Once again, out of the shotgun formation. Out to pass. And it is incomplete, but a penalty flag is thrown near midfield. And we will check the penalty here, and it appears to be, it's probably pass interference against Ogden. Now let's check the penalty.
Yard reception on the play. And your first Gladiator, 1st down.
So it appears to be from the spot of the foul, brings up an automatic 1st down for the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators from their own 45-yard line. Almost good field position. And let's see how this offense can turn out after a pass interference penalty from the spot of the foul.
Pass interference will take the ball to the 48.
From the 48-yard line, we have one receiver on the left and two receivers on the right, and we got one running back at the backfield. Here we go, out of the shotgun formation. And the quarterback decides to throw a pass, and he completes it. He was behind the line of scrimmage before he starts throwing the ball, and the pass is complete. That is number 26, Abdul Gilbert, with a reception for a 9-yard gain on the play inside Jets territory at the 44-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd down and 3 yards to go. All right, here we go. Out of the shotgun formation. He hands it off. A running play and gets brought down near the 40-yard line. Once again, that was Abdul Gilbert, the ball carrier. And he gets brought down on the play by Kobe Flint, the linebacker, for the Ogden Jets. And that brings 1st and 10, Pacific Northwest Christian. Okay, here we go. Here's a snap. A passing formation, and the pass is complete on the play. That was Blake Spear, number 1, with a reception from quarterback Jaden Saley. With a gain of 3 on the play, that'll bring up 2nd down and 7 yards to go. Down at the 38-yard line. Okay, we got 2 receivers on each side and 1 running back in the backfield. There's a snap. He fakes the handoff, and he keeps it. And it appears to be that he gets stopped a few yards behind the line of scrimmage, and that is a loss of a few yards on the play. So that was number 30, Devon Harvey for the Ogden Jets, who is on the defense. And that would bring up 3rd down, 8 yards to go from the 39-yard line. Okay, here we go with the next offensive possession. Okay, he takes the snap. Number 13 on the quarterback keeper. Runs with it and gets brought down at about the 35-yard line. Number 13 is Keegan Bishop, the new quarterback stepping in for the Gladiators. And we have a penalty flag on the play just a few seconds after the play was over. And we will check the penalty. We have an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty called against the Ogden Jets.
After the play is over, personal foul against Ogden. Attack on 15 yards, and it will be another.
So it'll be a 15-yard penalty from after the play was over, and that brings up 1st and 10 for the Gladiators inside the red zone. From inside the 20-yard line, here we go with the next offensive play. Keegan Bishop at quarterback, takes a snap, throws it, and it is incomplete on the play. That was intended for number 6, Kyle Brown, the intended receiver, and that will bring up 2nd down from once again inside the red zone. Okay. Keegan Bishop, number 13. Out of the shotgun formation, 2 receivers on each side and 1 running back here in the backfield. He fakes the handoff, throws a pass, and it's incomplete. That is intended for number 14, Tajay Taylor, the intended receiver. And this would bring up 3rd down for the Gladiators, even though there is no score as of yet, and we're under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Here we go, 3rd down, 10 yards to go with 57 seconds left here in the first quarter. Once again, Bishop out of the shotgun formation. Here's the snap. He's looking. Oh, he found a wide open receiver, but the pass is dropped. That was Blake Spear, the intended receiver, and that would bring up 4th down for the Gladiators. Okay, coming in for the Gladiators, they're sending in a field goal unit. And it looks like they're going to attempt the field goal. So this would be a 35-yard attempt. Here's the snap and the kick. And it is no good. So with 48 seconds here in the first quarter, both the Gladiators and the Jets are tied at 0. Okay, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. We're back here live, ladies and gentlemen, and from the 20-yard line, the Ogden Jets will take over on their 3rd possession here in the first quarter with under a minute to go. Out of the shotgun formation, and it's a running play up the middle. And apparently there is no gain on the play. That was number 22, Jed Adams, the ball carrier. And apparently he gains of about 1 on the play. That will bring up 2nd and 9 from the 21-yard line. All right, once again, the quarterback out in the backfield. Here's the snap. He's looking. Pass complete on the play. That is Charlie Thornbald, the intended receiver, who catches it and gets brought down to the 25-yard line. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings out the end of the first quarter with the score at 0-0.
3rd and 6 when we return to the second quarter. And deadlock 0-0 game.
So, ladies and gentlemen, before we get the second quarter underway, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. We're back live, ladies and gentlemen, from Fran Rich Stadium here in Richland for more Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators football live stream here on their YouTube channel. All right, here we go. We now begin the start of the second quarter. It is now 3rd down and 6 yards to go for the Ogden Jets. And here's the snap. Here's the pass, and it is overthrown and incomplete. That was number 1, Hunter Bell, the intended receiver. And that would bring up 4th down for the Jets. So whether or not, if they're going to punt or going for it, and it appears to be that the Ogden Jets are going to punt. So with that being said, number 5, I think it's Damari Ross, who is the returner for the Gladiators. That's going to be returning. And number 14, Walter Hendricks of the Ogden Jets is going to punt. Okay. Here we go, standing from inside the 10-yard line. There's the snap and the kick. The ball is stopped, and it's rolling away near the 45-yard line. And it stops probably at about the 44, and that's probably a 35-yard punt. So with that being said, in good field position, the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators will be back on offense on their 4th possession here with the second quarter. Okay. Number 3, Jaden Saley, the quarterback, is back on the field. And from the 42-yard line, they will start from there. Right. So we have 1 receiver on the right, 2 receivers on the left, and we have 1 running back here in the backfield. There's a low snap. He hands it over to number 4, Trey Workman, who gets stopped for a loss. That was number 55, Derek Child of the Ogden Jets, who made the tackle. And that was a loss of 2 on the play. It is 2nd down, 12 yards to go from the 44-yard line. So we got 3 receivers on the right and 1 running back in the backfield. Okay, here's the snap. Saley out at quarterback. He's looking, and he completes the pass by number 12, Victor Eicher, with the reception. Gets across the 40 and gets out of bounds near the 35-yard line on the play. So that's like a gain of 7 yards on the play, and with the ball spotted at the 36-yard line, it is now 3rd down and about 4 yards to go for the Gladiators. Okay, we got 2 receivers on the far right, and 1 receiver on the left. Okay, here's the snap. Saley at quarterback. Throws a screen, and it's incomplete. That was intended for number 2, Keyshawn Kelly, the intended receiver, in which that pass is incomplete from out of the screen formation. And that will bring a 4th down for the Gladiators. And it looks like they are going for it. So from the 36-yard line on 4th and 4, let's see what the Gladiators can do with this play right here. Here's the snap. Out to pass, throws the ball, and it's intercepted. That was number 30 of the Ogden Jets, Devon Harvey, the defensive back with the interception, and gets brought down near the 15-yard line on the play. And that is the first turnover of the game that the Gladiators have committed. So from the 12-yard line, it is 1st and 10 for the Ogden Jets with 13:01 here in the second quarter. And we are scoreless here in this ball game. Here we go on Ogden Jets offense from the 12-yard line. Okay, we got 2 receivers from the left, 1 receiver from the right, and 2 running backs in the backfield. Here's the snap. Throws it and completes it to number 1, the intended receiver, Hunter Bell for the Ogden Jets, who gets across the 20 to about the 21-yard line on the play. On the tackle, that was Tyler Lynch for the Gladiators who made the stop. So from the 21-yard line, after a gain of 9 on the play, brings up 2nd and 1 for the Jets.
Parker Dumas checking into the game.
Okay, next offensive play for the Ogden Jets. Once again, a shotgun formation by the quarterback. That was number 8, Brennan Harvey, who is at quarterback. And he hands it off. He hands it off to number 11, Charlie Thornblad, who gets stopped for a loss on the play. And on the tackle is Tyler Lynch for the Gladiators, who made an improvement on this defensive play. So that is a loss of 1. That brings up 3rd down and 3 yards to go from precisely the 20-yard line.
Check that, 3rd and 2.
And we have a timeout called by the Ogden Jets. And that is their 2nd team timeout. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. All right, we're back live here at Fenway Stadium with 11:31 here in the second quarter. It is 3rd down and 2 yards to go for the Jets. Brennan Harvey, the quarterback, out in the backfield. He takes a snap, and he hands it off to number 15, the ball carrier, who cuts through and gets brought down to the 25-yard line. That is Jackson Watson, number 15, on the ball carrier, who gets brought down to the 25-yard line. And that's good enough for a 1st down after a 5-yard gain for the Ogden Jets. It is 1st and 10.
6-yard gain, 1st down, Ogden.
Okay, the next offensive play. Here's the snap, throws the pass, and he completes it on the play. That is number 9, Zion Jackson, the tight end from Murray, Utah, who made the reception and gets stopped across the 30 to about the 33-yard line for a gain of 9. It is now 2nd and 1 from the, oh, correction, that is 34. I'm sorry, 34, not 39. It is 2nd and 1 from the 34-yard line. And here comes the Jets with the next offensive possession. Brennan Harvey at quarterback for the Jets out of the shotgun formation. Here's a snap. He hands it off, and he runs up the middle and gets brought down. And it looks like there's no gain on the play, apparently. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 1 from the line of scrimmage. .9:20 and counting here in the second quarter. Okay, 3rd down and 1. Once again, Brennan Harvey at quarterback out of the shotgun formation. Okay, here's the snap. He hands it off to number 22, who is running up the middle, and that is Jed Adams, the running back, who runs up the middle and gets brought down across the 35 to about the 38-yard line on the play. And that brings up a 1st and 10 for the Ogden Jets after a 5-yard gain on the play. And from the 38-yard line, it is 1st down for Ogden. 8:30 left and still counting. Once again, out of the shotgun formation, we have one receiver in motion. Here's the snap, out to pass, throws the screen, and he completes it. However, there is a penalty flag on the play. We will check the penalty. That was number 56, Torin Vrelvold, who made the reception, and there's a penalty flag down. And the penalty is called against the Ogden Jets. That is ineligible receiver. So after a 10-yard penalty on the play, it'll be 2nd down and 20 with the ball spotted at the 28-yard line. And that's also a loss of down from an illegal receiver penalty. Here we go. Ogden Jets, here's the snap out of the shotgun formation. Pass complete to number 7, Parker Dumas with the reception, who gets across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. And on the tackle, that is Jalen Nixon, who made the stop. A gain of 13 on the play after crossing the original line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 3rd and 7 from the 41-yard line. Brennan Harvey at quarterback out of the shotgun formation. 2 receivers on the right side. We have one going in motion. He fakes the handoff and throws a pass and completes it to number 1, Hunter Bell, who made the reception and gets brought down at about the 45-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play, And that'll be 4th down and 2 yards to go from the 46.
Gain of 5, it'll be 4th down and 2.
So with 4th down and 2 yards to go, and with over 6 minutes left here in the second quarter, Damari Ross, number 5, up for a return on special teams while the Ogden Jets decides to punt. That is Walter Hendricks, the punter for the Ogden Jets. Here's a low snap. He picks it up. There's the kick, nearly blocked, but the ball is up in the air, and a fair catch signal is made and caught by Damari Ross. And so from the 20-yard line, the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators will start from there. In other college football scores, ladies and gentlemen, Penn State University leads Florida International today, 34-0. Also, Florida State defeated East Texas A&M 77-3. Also, Texas A&M defeated Utah State 44-22. And with 9 minutes and 10 seconds left here in the fourth quarter, Oregon leads Oklahoma State 69-3. And here we go. Next offensive possession for the Gladiators. He's out the pass, and the pass is caught on the play. Inside Jets territory. That was a nice grab by number 10, the intended receiver, Omar Zapata. And that's another first down for the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators. And here we go, 1st and 10 from inside Jets territory at the 30-yard line. Jaden Saley at quarterback. Out of the shotgun formation, 2 receivers on each side. And he hands it off to number 26, Abdul Gilbert, who gets stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. And that would bring up 2nd and 10 with under 5 minutes left here to go. And they got all 3 fresh timeouts here in the first half. Here's the snap. Out to pass. And it is incomplete. That is intended for Damari Ross, number 5, the intended receiver, and that would bring up 3rd down. Still 0-0 here in the first half of this football game. Okay. Once again, Jaden Saley at quarterback. Okay. Out of the shotgun formation with 3 receivers on the left side. Out. Here's a snap. Saley looking. And he's breaking away from being sacked. And the pass is caught on the play. That was number 6. Kyle Brown with a reception inside the 10-yard line. It gets tackled down by Jet Wiles, who made the tackle. And right now, they're inside the red zone, and we have a flag on the play. We will check the penalty.
First down, Gladiators. Flag on the play.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, calls against the Ogden Jets. So it'll be first down for the 11-yard line, and the penalty is declined. And once again, Jaden Saley at quarterback. And we have an official's timeout to see where they're lining up the ball at.
Check that. Half the distance to the goal line.
So the penalty is not declined. It'll be half the distance to the goal. And from the 6-yard line, it is first and goal for the Gladiators. All right, here we go. Jaden Saley at quarterback out in the backfield.
Gladiator football from the 5.
And from the 6-yard line, out to snap. And Saley tries to break away the sack, and he couldn't escape from it. And there's a live ball. The fumble's on the play. But the official's saying he was ruled down. He was ruled down near the 20-yard line, so there was no fumble on the play. So this would bring up 2nd down and goal for the Gladiators. The clock stops at 4 minutes and 4 seconds here in the second quarter. So apparently at the 16-yard line, after a 10-yard loss on the sack, that would bring up 2nd and goal. Okay, with 3 receivers on the left, 1 running back out in the backfield, 1 receiver on the right. Out of the shotgun formation. Here's the snap. Throws it, and it is caught on the play by Blake Spear, the intended receiver, across the 15 to about the 14-yard line for a gain of 2 on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd and goal.
Third down and 14, Gladiators.
.320 and still counting here in this ball game, here in the second quarter. Okay, and here we go. Next offensive play for the Gladiators. Jaden Saley at quarterback, out of the shotgun formation. There's a snap. He's looking to pass, pressure coming. Now he runs it by himself. He runs up the middle, and he gets brought down from inside the 15-yard line, and we have a penalty flag on the play. On the defense for Ogden, Jet Wiles, who is on the tackle on the play, and we will check the penalty. Personal foul penalty calls against the Gladiators. So apparently, there's going to be 15 yards from after the end of the play. So that would bring up 4th down from the 29. Okay, and the clock winds down. So with 2:45 and running on the next offensive play for the Gladiators. Okay, we got 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left.
Check that, 4th down.
And once again, whistles going on, and we have a first team timeout here in the first half by the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators. Now let's check out some other college football scores, ladies and gentlemen. Utah leading Cal Poly 21-3. And with 2 minutes left here in the third quarter, South Florida leads the Florida Gators 13-9. In other college football matchups, starting at 4 p.m. today, the Miami Hurricanes host the Boston College Golden Eagles. Also in the battle with the Louisianas, LSU take on Louisiana Tech. And a big matchup starting at 4:30, the Michigan Wolverines take on the Oklahoma Sooners. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, at 7:30 is when Washington State hosts San Diego State at Martin Stadium in Pullman. Okay. Here we go with 2:36 left and with 4th down now from the 29-yard line. Here's a snap out of the shotgun formation. Saley looking, and he decides to run the ball by himself, gets to the 20, and goes out of bounds near the 15-yard line on the play. And apparently they couldn't reach the end zone to score, and the ball will be turned over on downs. So with 2:26 here in the second quarter, the Ogden Jets are now on offensive possession.
Ball turned over on downs. It will be first down. Jets football. From the 16-yard line.
So from the 16-yard line, that'll bring up 1st and 10 for the Ogden Jets with 2:26 left here in the second quarter. Ogden's got 1 timeout left, while Pacific Northwest Christian has 2 remaining timeouts. Here's the snap. Throws a screen. And it is caught by number 27. That is Anthony Wilson, the running back, with a reception and gets brought down near the 20-yard line. So that's a gain of 3 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7 yards to go for the Jets. Here's the snap. Pass complete on the play. It is caught by Hunter Bell, who gets brought down at the 40-yard line for a gain of 21 on the play.
Hunter Bell with a reception to the 39-yard line. First down, Ogden.
So it is first down by the Jets. And it looks like we got a timeout going on.
That'll be the 2-minute warning.
So we are winding down to the 2-minute warning. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. We're back live at Fenway Stadium after a 2-minute warning. So it is 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Here's the Jets out to pass, and it is caught by Hunter Bell, the intended receiver. He gains 13 yards on the play and gets brought down in midfield. It is now 1st and 10 for the Ogden Jets as they are trying to score before the start of halftime. So with the ball in midfield, we have 3 receivers on the left, 1 receiver on the right, 1 running back in the backfield. Out of the shotgun formation. Here's the snap. And the pass is caught for a 4-yard gain. It is caught by number 23, Cameron Stipson, the intended receiver. And that brings up 2nd and 6 from the 46. So with 1:20 and still counting. And Ogden only has 1 timeout remaining. Here's the snap. Once again, throws a screen, and it is caught on the play. And the pass is completed.
Jackson Watson with an 8-yard reception.
So that is Jackson Watson, number 15, the intended receiver, with an 8-yard reception, and they will bring up 3rd down and 2 yards to go from the 42-yard line. And with 1 minute and 6 seconds left here on the clock.
3rd and 2, Jets.
Okay. Once again, Brennan Harvey at quarterback from the shotgun formation. 1 receiver in motion. Here's the snap. Throws a pass. And once again, another screen play, and it is caught by number 15, Jackson Watson, the intended receiver. Gets across the 40 to about the 38-yard line. And that brings up 1st and 10 for the Jets after a 5-yard gain. And we are under a minute to go. Once again, out of the shotgun, here's the snap. And he's getting pressured. Brendan Harvey getting pressured, and he throws it away, even though he is out of the pocket, and he throws it out of bounds. No grounding on the play, though, and that will bring up 2nd down. So with 43 seconds remaining, that brings up 2nd and 10. We also have a penalty flag on the play near the 20-yard line, and at the same time, we have an injury player on the field. That was number 1, Hunter Bell, who is down on the field. So in just a moment, actually, we have a penalty called against the Ogden Jets, unsportsmanlike conduct after the play was whistled dead. And apparently, number 1, Hunter Bell, the wide receiver from the Ogden Jets, seems to be okay. So it appears to be that it is a 15-yard penalty from after the end of the play, and they are back inside Ogden Jets territory at the 48-yard line. So here we go, 43 seconds left remaining here in the first half. Once again, Brennan Harvey at quarterback out of the shotgun formation, takes the snap. Throws it up the middle, and it is incomplete. That is intended for Jackson Watson, the intended receiver. And that brings up 3rd down and a long way to go. So, with 3rd down, 25 yards to go from the 48-yard line, and with 39 seconds remaining, once again for timeouts, Ogden's got one more timeout remaining, while the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators has 2. Okay, once again, Brennan Harvey at quarterback out of the shotgun formation with 3 receivers to the right. Here's the snap. Getting pressured. He throws, and it is caught on the play near the 35-yard line. And that was number 7, Parker Dumas, the intended receiver. And that's a gain of 15 yards on the play. It is 4th and 10 from the 37-yard line. And the clock is still winding down. And the Ogden Jets will take their final timeout here in the first half. So there'll be one more play to go before the start of halftime. So the Ogden Jets has just used their final timeout, and they're going to have one last play before the first half ends. And it appears to be that the Ogden Jets are going to attempt a field goal, and believe it or not, this is a 55-yard field goal attempt. Walter Hendricks, the kicker. And let's see how they can do on a 55-yard field goal attempt. Here's the snap. And the snap is low. Fumble on the play, and it's picked up by number 1, who tries to throw a pass, and it is incomplete. So apparently, we are scoreless in the entire first half. So the Gladiators 0 and the Jets is 0. So, ladies and gentlemen, in about 20 minutes, we are at halftime here. So in just a matter of moments, I will give you once again some more college football scores. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now at a 20-minute halftime here. So we're going to have to take a break. So in about 20 minutes, we will resume with the Gladiators football live from Friend Rich Stadium here in Richland, Washington. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, sit back and relax, and we will be right back in 20 minutes. Stay with us. in Richland, Washington for Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators football in their second home game of the season. And we are just now at the end of halftime, so in about 1 minute, ladies and gentlemen, we will get the second half underway with the start of the third quarter of this afternoon's football game. So apparently, the Ogden Jets will be receiving the ball at the start of the third quarter. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, at 7:30 here tonight, for all you Cougar fans out here to support Washington State, after a 10-7 victory over the Idaho Vandals last week, the Cougars host the San Diego State Aztecs here at Martin Stadium. That is tonight at 7:30. Also, ladies and gentlemen, for all you Seahawk fans out there to represent the 12s in blue and green, and since they are on a quest for a Super Bowl this year, the Seahawks host the San Francisco 49ers at Lumen Field starting this Sunday, which is tomorrow at 1 o'clock sharp. So support the Hawks and support the 12. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are about ready to start of the second half with the start of the third quarter of this afternoon's football game. So here we go. We are getting ready to kick off here as number 1 Blake Spear will be kicking it off for the Gladiators. And here we go. We're about ready to kick off. Second half underway. And on the receiving end of the Ogden Jets, that is number 15, Jackson Watson, who is running all the way. No flags. Touchdown, Ogden Jets. And that is the first score of this afternoon's football game. That was an 83-yard kickoff return for the touchdown, and Ogden Jets scores its first points. Once again, number 15, Jackson Watson, an 83-yard kickoff return for the touchdown. So, for the extra point is number 16, Ethan Barber. Getting ready for the PAT after the touchdown. There's the snap and the kick, and it is good. And with 14 minutes and 47 seconds here in the third quarter, and with the first points on the board, the Ogden Jets leads the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators 7-0. On the far side, that is Blake Spear, number 1, getting ready for the kickoff return with the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators. Kicking it off is Walter Hendricks for the Ogden Jets. So after 30 minutes and 13 seconds of not scoring, the Ogden Jets made their first points at the start of the third quarter. And with that being said, the Ogden Jets are getting ready to kick off. Once again, that is Walter Hendricks, the kicker for the Ogden Jets.
Blake Spear, Matt, to receive the kickoff.
Okay, here we go. And let's see how Pacific Northwest Christian can do to see if they can score back on their upcoming offensive possession here in the third quarter. Here's the kickoff, and Blake Spear from the 18-yard line. Runs up the middle, cuts it through, and gets brought down to the 40-yard line. And that is a 28-yard kickoff return. So it'll be 1st and 10, Pacific Northwest Christian from their own 40. So once again, number 3, Jaden Saley at quarterback. Okay, here we go. On their first offensive possession here in the second half from the 40-yard line. Okay, we got 2 receivers on each side and 1 running back in the backfield. Okay, out of the shotgun formation. Saley at quarterback. Here's the snap. Throws a pass, and he completes it. That is number 5, Damari Ross, with a reception across midfield inside Ogden Jets territory for a gain of 13 on the play, and that is a first down for the Gladiators. So, from the 48-yard line, 1st and 10 from inside Jets territory, and let's see if the Gladiators can try and rebound back. They don't like being scoreless regardless. Okay, he hands it off to number 26, the running back, the ball carrier. Abdul Gilbert, the ball carrier, who gets stopped for a loss of 1 on the play and gets stopped near midfield. On the defense, that was Bryce Hughes, number 50, who made the tackle.
No gain on the rush.
So the ball will be placed at the line of scrimmage on 2nd down.
Second and 10, Gladiators.
So we got one receiver from each side on the far side. And here we go, once again, out of the shotgun. Here's the snap. And the pass is deflected away. And that was good, tremendous defense by number 25 of the Ogden Jets, even though I don't have his name on the roster, though. But that was a nice deflection on the part of the Ogden Jets defense. And that would bring up 3rd down from, once again, at the line of scrimmage. So we got 2 receivers on the left, 1 receiver on the right, and 1 running back out in the backfield. Here's the snap. Saley out to pass, passing it deep. There's a wide open receiver, and it is incomplete. That was number 5, Damari Ross, the intended receiver, and that would bring up 4th down.
4th down, Gladiators.
So, from the 48-yard line, it appears to be that the Gladiators are going to punt.
Injury timeout on the field.
And we have an injury timeout on the field down at the 30-yard line. That is one of the Ogden Jets players. And while the injury timeout is in progress, we're going to take a short break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We're back live from Fran-Rich Stadium, and that is number 1, Hunter Bell, the recently injured player who seems to be okay so far. Right now it is 4th and 10 from the 48-yard line as the Gladiators are ready to punt. There's the snap. Kick is up. Lands at about the 25-yard line. Gets across the 15 and gets stopped probably at about the 13-yard line. And the Ogden Jets will start from there on their second possession here in the third quarter.
The Ogden ball, 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line.
Okay, here's the Ogden Jets. And that was number 2, Austin Herbert, who is now the quarterback, and he hands it off to the ball carrier, who gets brought down near the 20-yard line on the play for a gain of 7.
Fumble, the 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5. Ogden.
After a gain of 6, that brings up 2nd down and 4 yards to go on the 19. Here's a snap, out to pass, and it is incomplete. It is intended to number 7, Parker Dumas, the intended receiver. And that would bring up 3rd down for the Jets. Okay, once again for the 19-yard line, inside their own red zone on 3rd down. Okay, we got 1 receiver on each far side on both left and right with 2 running backs in the backfield. Here's a snap, out to pass, and it is incomplete on the play. That was number 41, Colby Flint, the intended receiver, the fullback from the Jets, and that would bring up 4th down. And it appears to be that the Jets are going to punt. So we have number 5, Damari Ross, who is going to be the punt returner, standing between the 40 and the 45-yard line, and see on their next possession what the Gladiators can go from there. Here we go with the Ogden Jets, ready to punt. The punter is from inside the 5-yard line. Once again, that is Damari Ross on the return. Here's the snap, there's the kick. And it is caught by Ross, who backs away, trying to get some running room, gets across the 40, gets across midfield, and down to the 45-yard line. However, there is a flag on the play at the 36-yard line, and we will check the penalty. That is a 15-yard return on the play for Damari Ross. And with the flag being down, let's see what the penalty is. So that is holding called against the Gladiators. So apparently it'll be a 10-yard penalty from the holding call. So it's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, and the ball will be placed at the 26-yard line, and it is Gladiators' ball. It is 1st and 10 with 11:51 here in the third quarter.
Gladiator football from the 26, 1st and 10.
So with that being said, here's the next possession here in the second half of the Gladiators. Once again, Jaden Saley at quarterback. Okay, here's the snap. He hands it off to the running back. That is number 4, Trey Workman, who gets stopped.
Trey Workman with the carry.
Stopped by number 6, Farron Hardy, who is on the defense. So apparently there was no gain on the play. That brings up 2nd and 10 for the line of scrimmage. So we got 2 receivers on each side. Here's the snap. Under pressure. Throws it in, and it is incomplete. That was Blake Spear, the intended receiver, who goes out of bounds right before he starts catching the ball. And that would bring up 3rd down for Pacific Northwest Christian.
3rd and 10, Gladiator football.
Okay, we got 1 receiver on the far right side. Once again, out of the shotgun formation. Here's the snap. He's looking, and almost getting pressured. However, it is incomplete. That is Blake Spear, the intended receiver, and that brings 3 and out for the Gladiators.
4th and 10, Gladiators.
So that would bring up 4th down. On the punt return for the Ogden Jets, that is number 17, Roman Franco. There's the snap and the kick across midfield. And it is caught at about the 30-yard line. And Roman Franco breaks free on the tackle. And he runs out of bounds near the 40-yard line.
Roman Franco on the return of 17. 1st and 10.
So with that being said, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Ogden Jets. So the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line, 1st and 10, with little over 11 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. Okay, once again, that is number 2, Austin Herbert at quarterback. Here's the snap. Hands it off to the running back. And what a tackle that turns out. That is Anthony Zabrano, the linebacker, who gets brought him down to the line of scrimmage.
Anthony Zabrano on the hit.
And that would bring up 2nd down and 11 yards to go for the Jets. Here we go, 2nd and 11 from the 34-yard line, out of the shotgun formation with 2 receivers on each side. Here's the snap, out the pass, and it's incomplete. Incomplete on the play.
Austin Herbert pass incomplete.
That was Logan Heyer, number 21, the intended receiver for the Ogden Jets, and that brings up 3rd and 11 from the 34. Here's the snap. Jets out to pass, and once again, it is incomplete. Once again, Logan Heyer, the intended receiver, and couldn't be able to complete the catch. And that brings up 4th down for the Jets. And it appears to be they are going to punt. Once again, we got Damari Ross out for a return for the Gladiators. And we're 10 minutes even here in the 3rd quarter, with the Jets leading 7-0. Okay, here's Walter Hendricks, the punter. Here's a snap. Kick is up. Crosses the 40, down to about the 35-yard line, and it'll stop from there. So it'll be first down and 10 yards to go for the Gladiators at their own 35-yard line, with 10 minutes even here in the third quarter. Oh, correction, 9:50 left here in the third quarter. Sorry about that.
Gladiator ball, first and 10 from the 35-yard line.
So, first and 10 from the 35-yard line. And that is Keegan Bishop at quarterback, and he gets sacked for a loss of 3 on the play. That was number 55, Derek Child, on the sack, and we have a penalty flag right after the play ended. And let's see what the penalty is on.
Loss of 6 on the sack.
We have a personal foul penalty called against the Gladiators. So that'll be a 15-yard penalty from after the end of the play, and that is also right after a 6-yard sack by Derek Child, who made the defense. So with that being said, at the 13-yard line, that'll bring up second down. There's motion going on, and penalty flag is down before the snap. False start penalty calls against the Gladiators.
False start penalty against your Gladiators.
A 5-yard penalty from the previous spot.
Five-yard penalty, first and 10 from the 9-yard line.
Once again, Keegan Bishop at quarterback for the Gladiators. Out of the shotgun. Here's the snap. Throws out the pass. Throws a screen. Number 26 with the catch. We have a fumble on the play. That was Abdul Gilbert with the reception. However, there is a fumble on the play, and it is recovered by the Jets. That was Farron Hardy on the defense on the recovery. And we have an injury player on the field. Apparently, that is number 26, Abdul Gilbert, the last guy who touched the ball, and after being tackled down while the fumble's in progress. And here come the trainers checking on him. So first down, 10 yards to go, but the 24-yard line, the Ogden Jets are now in good field position. And apparently, Abdul Carter is doing okay. Right now, for the 24-yard line, here comes the Jets offense with 9:24 here in the third quarter. Here we go for the 24-yard line, Ogden in position. Okay. Out of the shotgun formation with Austin Herbert at quarterback. He hands it off to his running back and gets brought down. That is Preston Arambo, the ball carrier, who gets brought down near the 20-yard line on the play for a gain of 2. And he was being brought down by Jack Smasny, the defensive line for the Gladiators. That'll bring up 2nd and 7 for the Gladiators from the 22. Once again, Herbert at quarterback, 2 receivers on the far side, each side. Here's the snap. Pressure coming. He throws a pass, and it's incomplete. It is intended for Jackson Watson, the intended receiver, and that would bring up 3rd down for the Jets at the 22. Here we go, 3rd and 8 from the 22-yard line. Once again, Austin Herbert at quarterback with 1 running back here in the backfield, 2 receivers to the left. Here's the snap. He's getting pressured, and he gets brought down at about the 25-yard line. And believe it or not, it is Dom Powell with the sack down at the 25-yard line. Loss of 4 on the play, and that brings up 4th and 11. So it looks like the Jets are going to attempt the field goal, and this would be a 42-yard attempt. Okay, here is Ethan Barber, the kicker. A 42-yard attempt. There's the snap and the kick. And it is no good. And with 7:34 here in the 3rd quarter, the score remains 7-0, led by the Ogden Jets.
Turns the ball over. 1st down, Gladiators.
Here we go with the Gladiators' next possession. On the 25-yard line. Okay, here we go with the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators' next possession. Here we go, 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Out to snap. Throws a pass, completes it. And it is caught on the play by Damari Ross. From quarterback Keegan Bishop down to the 40-yard line. And that is an 18-yard gain. 1st and 10 for the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators. And here we go, 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line as they keep moving the chains here. Here we go. So we have 2 receivers on the far side on each side. And 1 running back here in the backfield. Out of the shotgun formation. Fumble on the play. And it's recovered at the 30-yard line by Keegan Bishop. And that is a loss of 10 on the play. And that would bring up 2nd and 20 from the 30. And when you have an official's timeout, we have an injury player on the field. And that is one of the players from the Ogden Jets. So while the injury timeout's in progress, apparently he's getting up and doing okay. That was number 50, Bryce Hughes, the defensive line for the Ogden Jets. So right now it is 2nd and 20 from the 30-yard line. Once again, Keegan Bishop at quarterback from the backfield. Out of the shotgun formation, 2 receivers to the right, 1 receiver on the left. Here's the snap. Bishop looking. He's getting pressured a little bit. Now he decides to run it to the 30 and reaches across the 35-yard line to get some positive yardage on the play. And that is a gain of 5 on the quarterback keeper, and that will bring up 3rd down and 15 yards to go from the 35-yard line.
Second and 15, Gladiator ball.
Okay, here we go. With 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left, and 1 running back here in the backfield. Out of the shotgun formation. Here's a snap. Bishop out to pass. He's looking, throwing it deep. And it's intercepted. Intercepted by number 23 of the Ogden Jets, Cameron Stimson. And he is still on his feet, and he finally gets brought down at about the 45-yard line. However, there's a flag on the play at the 38-yard line. So with that being said, we will check the penalty.
There's a flag on the play during the return.
So apparently there's 2 interceptions here today for the Gladiators. Illegal block in the back penalty calls against the Ogden Jets during the interception return. So apparently it'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, and it'll be 1st down for the Ogden Jets. So from the 25-yard line, 1st and 10, Ogden, with 5 minutes and 42 seconds here in the 3rd quarter.
The 1st and 10, Ogden from the 25-yard line.
Okay, for the Ogden Jets. Here's the snap. And he makes a backward pass, and it is a live ball. The fumble is on the play. The live ball is still in progress, and apparently it is recovered by the Gladiators. That was Jed Adams, the intended receiver, from quarterback Dylan Horsley. And it is a live ball, and we have a penalty flag on the play right after the play was whistled dead. And we will check the penalty after the fumble recovery. And we have a personal foul penalty called against the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators. And that happens right after the play was over. So it'll be a 15-yard penalty from after the spot of where the play was whistled dead. And nevertheless, the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators will be starting the ball on 1st and 10. And so they will start at the 25. Here we go with the Gladiators' next offensive possession. Okay. Keegan Bishop at quarterback, out in the backfield. Here's the snap. Bishop looking, he is out of the pocket. There's a penalty flag down near the line of scrimmage. And once again, it's intercepted. That is the 3rd interception of the afternoon. And it is picked off. That is probably, can't read what it says here, but nevertheless, there's a penalty flag of the line of scrimmage. We will check the penalty.
Holding on the Gladiators.
Holding called against the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators, and the penalty is declined after the interception. So it is now 1st and 10, Ogden Jets with the ball spotted at the 37-yard line with 5 minutes and 18 seconds here in the third quarter. Okay, that is Dylan Horsley at quarterback. Here's the snap. Throws a pass, completes it, caught by number 10, Noah Harrelson, who gets brought down by number 2, Toby Fry.
Horsley's pass to Harrelson.
A gain of 1 on the play. That brings up 2nd and 9 for the Jets. The ball spotted at the 36. And we are under 5 minutes away here in the third quarter. Okay, here we go. Here's the snap. Hands it off to the running back who runs it up the middle. That is Anthony Wilson, the ball carrier, who gets brought down after a gain of a couple yards. So a gain of 2 yards on the play after crossing the original line of scrimmage. That is Ronan Alvarado who made the stop, and that would bring up 3rd and 9 for the Jets. And we are under 4 minutes away here in the third quarter. Okay, once again, out of the shotgun formation with 2 receivers on each side and 2 backs in the backfield. Here's the snap. And he's being pressured, and he gets sacked down to the 30-yard line. It is sacked by Tyler Lynch, number 95, and Jacob Fettig, number 98. With the sack, a loss of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down and 15 yards to go for the Jets. And it appears to be that whether or not if they're going to punt or going for it. And it appears to be that Damari Ross is going to return, and it looks like the Jets are going to punt. And we are under 3 minutes away and still running down. Here's the snap, and the kick is up. And from the 30-yard line, here comes Ross with a return, who breaks a few tackles, gets across the 40, and gets brought down to the 43-yard line after a 13-yard punt return. And we have an official's timeout. We have an injury player on the field. That is one of the Ogden Jets players at the 23-yard line. So before the next possession, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. And we're back live from Fran Stadium with 2:21 here in the third quarter. The Gladiators is trailing 7-0 against the Ogden Jets. And from the 43-yard line, the Gladiators will back in offensive position. Here we go. Here's a snap. And we have a fumble on the play. And it is recovered by the Ogden Jets, picked up by number 27, which is live, and he runs it in for the touchdown. That is Anthony Wilson, number 27, with the fumble pickup, and ran 33 yards for the score. And with 2 minutes and 8 seconds left, once again, the Ogden scored their second touchdown here in the afternoon. Apparently, that was Keegan Bishop after the snap and caused the fumble to go down. And there was no whistles down while the fumble is in progress. And that is why Anthony Wilson, number 27, ran 33 yards for the score on their second touchdown of the afternoon. And now, Ethan Barber, number 16, getting ready for the extra point. There's the snap, there's the kick. And the extra point is good. And with 2 minutes and 8 seconds here in the third quarter, the Gladiators 0 and the Ogden Jets 14. Next Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, right here at Fran Stadium, the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators will be hosting the junior varsity version of Central Washington Wildcats. That is next Saturday at 3 o'clock sharp right here at Fran Stadium. So for more information on other schedules, not just football but in other athletic events, log on to Pacific Northwest Christian's website at PNWCC.com and check out some of the sports schedules which feature soccer and many other sports. So apparently the Gladiators has committed 5 turnovers here in this game so far, while the Jets only has 2 turnovers regardless. And right now, Walter Hendricks will be kicking it off for the Jets, and Blake Spear on the far side will be the returner. There's the kickoff. Spear picks it up from the 5, gets across the 20, skips on through and gets brought down at about the 25-yard line, and that is a 20-yard kickoff return. And so for the 25-yard line, 1st and 10, Pacific Northwest Christian. Once again, number 13, Keegan Bishop at quarterback. Keegan Bishop from Liberty Christian High School in Richland. Starting it off. Okay, here we go now. So we got 1 running back in the backfield with 2 receivers on each side. And once again, Bishop out of the shotgun formation. Here's the snap. Out to pass. He keeps it by himself, escapes a few tackles, gets across the 30, and gets down to about the 32-yard line for a gain of 7. Keegan Bishop on the quarterback keeper running up the middle on the play, while number 17, Roman Franco, who made the tackle for the Jets. That brings up 2nd and 3. Okay, once again, 2 receivers from each side. And 1 running back out in the backfield. He hands it off, a fumble on the play. And what's it recovered by? Oh, and it's recovered by the Jets. I thought Abdul Gilbert, 26, recovered it by himself, but apparently that wasn't the case. It is number 25 for the Jets, in which I don't see his name on the roster, has made the recovery at the 29-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10, Ogden Jets, and that is 6 turnovers total for the Gladiators. So with 1:20 left here in the third quarter, the Ogden Jets are now back on offense. $25. Yeah, it doesn't say it on there. All right, here we go. The Ogden Jets back on offense with Austin Herbert at quarterback out of the shotgun formation. Here's a snap. And he hands it off. That is number 11, Charlie Thornblad, the running back running up the middle, who gets brought down for a couple of yards. So that's a 3-yard gain, 2nd down and 7 yards to go.
Switch it up. That's your call. Switch it up.
So from the 27-yard line on 2nd and 7. Once again, Herbert at quarterback out of the shotgun formation. Okay, with 2 receivers, 1 on each side, 2 backs in the backfield. Here's the snap. Once again, he hands it off to his running back. And we have a fumble on the play. That is Cameron Stimson, the ball carrier, who gets brought down, and apparently it seems like the Jets made the recovery. So after a 4-yard gain, that brings up 3rd down. And ladies and gentlemen, this brings the end of the 3rd quarter with the score: the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators 0 and the Ogden Jets 14. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder, next Friday, which is September the 13th, right here at Friendridge Stadium here in Richland, as the Gladiators host the junior varsity version of the Central Washington Wildcats. That is next Saturday, 3 p.m. sharp, right here at Friendridge Stadium here in Richland. Also, once again, ladies and gentlemen, starting in 2.5 hours is when the Cougars of Washington State kicks off against the San Diego State Aztecs. That starts at 7:30 here at Martin Stadium in Pullman. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, the Seahawks host the 49ers here at Lumen Field at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It is now 5:11 in the afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and we're about to get ready to start with the 4th and final quarter of this afternoon's football game. Okay, here we go. Start of the 4th quarter with Austin Herbert, number 2 at quarterback, out of the shotgun formation for the Ogden Jets. We have 1 player in motion and 15 on the carry. Jackson Watson, number 15, the ball carrier, who runs out of bounds and inside the red zone. So that is a gain of 3 on the play, and that brings up 1st and 10 for the Ogden Jets inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. Okay, on the next possession, we have 2 receivers from each side far out and 1 back in the backfield. Okay. And he hands it off, a running formation play.
Ramble on the carry, loss of 1.
Carrying the ball is Preston Aramble, number 33, who gets brought down by Tyler Lynch, number 95, who is on the defense for the Gladiators. A loss of 1 on the play. That brings up 2nd and 11 from out of the red zone. Okay, next offensive possession, 2 receivers on the left side and 2 backs in the backfield. Out to pass, and it is incomplete on the play. Austin Herbert, the quarterback's pass to number 23, Cameron Stimson, which is incomplete. And this would bring up third down.
Third and 12, Jets ball.
.13:07 here in the fourth quarter here at Friend Stadium. Once again, Herbert at quarterback with two backs in the backfield, two receivers from each far side. Here's the snap. Herbert under pressure and throws it down incomplete, even though he is out of the pocket, though, and that would bring up fourth down. That was number 99, Logan Bose from Natchez, Washington, who made the pressure on the quarterback, and that would bring up 4th and 11 for the Jets. And it appears to be that the Ogden Jets is going to attempt a field goal by Ethan Barber. And this would be a 38-yard attempt. So from inside the pocket and attempting the field goal. There's the snap. There's the kick. And it is good after a 37-yard field goal. So with 12 minutes and 59 seconds remaining here in this ball game, it is the Ogden Jets 17, the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators 0. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, as the Jets are getting ready to kick off with Blake Spear, number 1, as the far returner. All right, here we go now. Walter Hendricks kicking it off. Kick is up. And here we go. Blake Spear on the return, coming out from the 15 to the 20 and down to about the 25-yard line. And that is apparently a 12-yard kickoff return. So from the 25-yard line, that'll bring up 1st and 10 for the Gladiators to see if there's a fighting chance into scoring. Here we go with 12:52 left here in the fourth quarter here at Friend Stadium. Okay. Here we go now with two backs in the backfield. And he hands it off. That was Keegan Bishop at quarterback.
Thane Williams for a 1-yard gain on the play.
So Thane Williams, the running back, running up the middle for a gain of 1 on the play, and that brings up 2nd and 9 from the 26. And the clock is still winding down with 12 minutes and 25 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Okay, once again, Bishop at quarterback with two backs in the backfield. And once again, he hands it off to number 34, Thane Williams, the running back from Grangeville High School in Grangeville, Idaho. And he gets stopped for no gain on the play. And that brings up 3rd and 10 from the 25-yard line. Okay, we got three receivers on the right with one back in the backfield. Here's the snap. Bishop now keeping the ball by himself, breaks a few tackles, gets across the 30, and gets brought down to about the 33-yard line. And that is Colby Flint, number 41, who made the tackle for the Jets. So apparently it's not exactly good enough for a first down, though. And it sounds like the Gladiators are going to punt. It is 4th down, 3 yards to go with 11:23 here in the fourth quarter.
Sideline interference on Ogden.
Apparently, ladies and gentlemen, there is a late penalty, and it sounds like the Ogden Jets committed sideline interference, and that causes a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down for Pacific Northwest Christian. And now they are at the 48-yard line, and once again with Bishop at quarterback. Okay, so we got three receivers on the right, one back in the backfield. Here's the snap. Pass complete on the play. However, there is no gain as number 12, Victor Eicher, on the screen formation and made a reception. So there is no gain on the play, and that brings up 2nd and 10 from the 48-yard line. And with 10 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. Okay, once again, three receivers on the right and one back in the backfield. Here's the snap. Bishop up to pass, and he completes it across midfield inside Jets territory. Blake Spear with a reception. That is a 3-yard gain on the play, and that brings up 3rd and 7 from inside Jets territory at the 49-yard line. Okay, now we got three receivers, this time from the left, with one back in the backfield. Here's a snap. Bishop getting ready to pass, under pressure, breaks free, and he gets sacked. He gets sacked behind the original line of scrimmage, and that was a loss of 4 on the play. And on the defense, that is Derek Child, the defensive line, who brought some down after a 4-yard loss on the play. And so apparently, the Gladiators are going to punt. Here's the snap. Here's the kick. Ball is rolling, and from the 10-yard line, and that was number 17, Roman Franco. So that's probably a 10-yard punt return. So from the 20-yard line, it is 1st and 10, Ogden Jets, with 8 minutes and 51 seconds remaining here in the ball game. I stand corrected, ladies and gentlemen. The Jets are inside their own red zone at the 18-yard line, and they will go from there on 1st and 10. Here's the snap, and he hands off to the running back. Penalty flag down, and that is behind the line of scrimmage.
Jen Adams with a 3-yard
That was number 22, Jed Adams, the ball carrier. And we will check the penalty. Holding calls against the Ogden Jets. It'll be a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, still first down. So it'll be 1st and 20 from the 8-yard line. All right, now the clock is winding down. 8 minutes and 40 seconds and still running here in this ball game. Here we go, 1st and 20 from the 8-yard line.
From the 9-yard line for the Jets. Check that, first down.
Okay, and that is number 2, Austin Herbert, a quarterback out of the shotgun formation, takes a snap, goes a pass, and he completes it. That is Noah Harrelson, number 10, the intended receiver, who caught the pass from inside the pocket and out of the red zone.
6-yard gain on the play.
So that is a gain of 6 on the play, and the ball will be spotted at the 25-yard line. And that will bring up 2nd down, 4 yards to go for the Ogden Jets. Seven minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. Okay, next offensive possession. One back in the backfield, and once again out of the shotgun formation with 1 receiver to the left and 2 receivers on the right. Here's the snap, and he hands it off to, once again, Jed Adams, the ball carrier, and he gets brought down.
Jet Adams on the run for no gain.
No gain on the play, and that brings up 3rd and 5 for the Jets. Nice defense on the part of the Gladiators. And here we go. After a loss of 1 on the play, it is 3rd down and 5 for the Ogden Jets. And we are under 7 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Okay. Okay, out of the shotgun formation with 2 backs in the backfield. Here's the snap. Out to pass. And he's got a wide open receiver, but it is incomplete. That is intended for number 19, Dasani Ross for the Ogden Jets, and that brings up 4th down and 5 for the Jets. And apparently, they could punt. And right now we have number 28, Rob Julima, as the newest returner here in this ball game for the Gladiators. Okay. And here we go, Walter Hendricks, the punter. There's the snap, and the kick. Gets across midfield, and number 28 for the Gladiators, Rob Julima, gets across midfield inside Jets territory and gets brought down to the 44-yard line. And on the special teams coverage, Logan Heyer, number 21, who makes the tackle. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 47. And we got 6:29 left here in the fourth quarter. Okay, here we go once again. Keegan Bishop at quarterback. So we got 2 receivers on each side and 1 back in the backfield. So we got number 1 in motion, out to snap, and almost intercepted on the play. It is intended for Damari Ross, the intended receiver, and the pass was nearly picked off. That was number 30, Devon Harvey, in which he does the defense, but he drops the interception. And that brings up 2nd and 10 from the 47. Here we go, with two receivers on each side and one back in the backfield. Out of the shotgun formation, there's a snap, and the pass is incomplete. That was intended for Kyle Brown, number 6, the intended receiver, and that would bring up third down here in the fourth quarter. .6:22 remaining here in the fourth quarter, and see if the Gladiators still has a fighting chance at scoring. Okay, here we go. We got three receivers from the left and one back in the backfield. Here's a snap. Out to pass. And it is incomplete. It is intended for Damari Ross, the intended receiver, even though the ball went out of bounds before catching it up. And that would bring fourth down. And it looks like they are going for it. So from the 47-yard line, and no gains on each play as of yet in their position. Here we go, 4th and 10 from the 47. Here's a snap. Bishop with the ball. He's under pressure. Escapes away from being sacked. He throws a pass, and once again, incomplete. That is intended for number 27, Malik Gilbert, the intended receiver, and the ball will be turned over on downs with 6 minutes and 4 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. And from the 47-yard line, the Ogden Jets will have the ball. Here we go from the 47-yard line here in the fourth quarter. So we got one receiver on each side on the far side and two backs from the backside, while number 8, Brennan Harvey, is now at quarterback. Out of the shotgun formation, Harvey at quarterback, he takes the snap and he hands it off. A running play from inside the pocket, and that is Cameron Stimson on the carry for the Jets for a gain of 1 on the play. And he was being brought down by Rob DeLima, who made the tackle. And that brings up second down. And with 5:35 remaining here in the fourth quarter, with a 17-0 lead by the Ogden Jets. And once again, Brennan Harvey at quarterback takes the snap and he sweeps it to the running back. And once again, he gets stopped at the line of scrimmage. That was Anthony Wilson, the running back, who gets brought down on the play by both number 45, Arnie Arvello, and number 52, Ronan Alvarado. And it is now third down and 10 yards to go. And we are under 5 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Here we go. Here's the snap. Harvey out to pass. And it is incomplete on the play. It is intended for Roman Franco, the intended receiver. And that would bring up fourth down from the 47. With 4:13 left here in the fourth quarter. So Ethan Barber will be punting away for the Ogden Jets. And at the same time, Damari Ross, the returner. There's the kick. High up in the air. Gets rolled down, out of bounds. And it stops at about the 25-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 Gladiators from their own 25 with 4 minutes and 2 seconds remaining here in this ball game. So for other college football scores, ladies and gentlemen, we have LSU leading Louisiana Tech 7-0, 6:35 here in the second quarter. And believe it or not, Oklahoma is leading Michigan 7-0 at the start of the second quarter. Okay, here we go now. With Keegan Bishop once again at quarterback, he takes the snap. He's under pressure. He throws it out and he completes it. That is number 5, Damari Ross with a reception. And gets brought down at midfield for a 25-yard gain on the play. And that brings up 1st and 10 for the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators. Here we go, 1st and 10 with the ball at midfield. Here's the snap. And that is the second straight passing play. It is caught by Damari Ross from quarterback Keegan Bishop for a gain of 6 on the play, down to the 44-yard line. It is 2nd down, 4 yards to go, with over 3 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. And good thing the Gladiators has got all 3 fresh timeouts here in the second half. Here we go with 2 receivers on the right. And oh, that is number 25 for the Ogden Jets with the sack back inside Gladiators territory at the 47. That is a 6-yard loss on the play. And once again, the ball is near the backfield. Correction, with the ball at near midfield. 2:40 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Here we go now with 3rd and 10 with the ball at midfield. Okay. Here's Bishop. Here's the snap. Bishop with the ball. He's looking. And the pass is incomplete. Intended for Malik Gilbert, the intended receiver, and that brings up 4th down for the Gladiators with 2 minutes and 8 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. And it appears to be that they are going for it. Here's the snap. Bishop out to pass. And it was nearly deflected away. And it is incomplete, and the ball will be turned over on downs with the ball at midfield. So it appears to be that the Ogden Jets is going to make one play before the start of the 2-minute warning. First and 10, Ogden Jets with the ball at midfield. And with little over 2 minutes remaining here in this ball game, it is now 5:40 here this afternoon. And once again, Brennan Harvey at quarterback out of the shotgun formation. Okay, here's the snap. And he hands it off to the running back. That was number 22, Jed Adams, the ball carrier, who gets brought down for a loss of 1, and that winds down to the 2-minute warning. It'll be 2nd and 11 for the Ogden Jets. So with that being said, during the 2-minute warning, we're going to take a short break. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, after a 2-minute warning, and the Ogden Jets from 2nd and 10 with the ball in midfield. And once again, a running formation play, and he gets denied from a 3-yard loss. That was Prince Watson, the ball carrier. And it appears to be that we got ourselves the first timeout of the second half called by Pacific Northwest Christian. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, next Saturday at 3 p.m. right here at Fran-Bridge Stadium, as the Gladiators host the junior varsity version of the Central Washington Wildcats. That is next Saturday, the 13th of September, starting at 3 o'clock sharp. So don't miss all the excitement here. And if you can't make it, you can watch a live stream on Pacific Northwest Christian's YouTube page. Third down and 12 yards to go from their own 48-yard line. And we are 1:45 remaining here in this ball game. Once again, Brennan Harvey at quarterback for the Jets, out of the shotgun formation with 2 receivers on the right and 2 backs in the backfield. Here's the snap. He throws the pass out, and it is caught on the play at the 25-yard line. A gain of 25 yards on the play. And we have a penalty flag at the 40-yard line. We will check and see what the penalty is. That penalty flag is 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So let's see what the call is. Personal foul penalty calls against the Gladiators, roughing the passer, and that would add some more yardage on this offensive possession. That was Jackson Watson with the reception for the Jets down at the 25-yard line. And apparently, with the 15-yard penalty, the ball will be placed inside the red zone at the 10. And with 1:37 remaining here in the fourth quarter. So it is now 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line. Okay, we have an official's timeout, trying to correct something. So it's at the 12-yard line instead of the 10-yard line. So, 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line by the Ogden Jets with 1:37 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Once again, Brennan Harvey at quarterback, out of the shotgun. He picks up the ball and he kneels it down to wind down the clock. And that would bring up 2nd down after a loss of 4. Ball is placed at the 18-yard line. It is 2nd down and 16. Second down for the 18-yard line, and it appears to be that Brennan Harvey is going to kneel once again here. And that would bring up 3rd down from the 23-yard line. Correction, the 24-yard line. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of the ball game. With the final score, the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators 0 and the Ogden Jets 17. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much for listening here in this live stream football game here at Friendridge Stadium here in Richland. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, next Saturday, 3 o'clock sharp, right here in this very stadium, the Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators will be hosting the junior varsity version of the Central Washington Wildcats. That's next Saturday at 3 o'clock. And for more information, log on to Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators website for more information on all sorts of sporting events, including football games. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much for listening here on live stream here with Pacific Northwest Christian Gladiators football. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. This is Evan Burton, your commentator, saying so long from Friendridge Stadium in Richland, Washington. Good night, everybody.